So far, it's been about 9 times that I've picked up the book to do astrology in front of you guys, and I didn't do it. But I'm seriously going to get involved with it now because we're at the end of the month. It's the 22nd. It's 11:22, babes. Can't sleep myself, but really, what I mean is I can't sleep, which is like I can't do the daytime sleep. There has been a fucking reversal. There's been a reversal, and I think that see, I am kind of winging it here, and I get glimpses and I hear like, okay, so there it is, so I need to stay on this. What I know that I'm intuitively, really, my perception is not off. Not really. I am making a lot of mistakes and I'm off on it with a lot of things, but then again, babes, there's a lot of clarity that has happened with Neptune gone retrograde, and that's going to be going forward in December, and that's what I'm looking at is like, I just wanted to see, well, because the Sun and the Mars conjunct. See, on the 23rd, pardon me for kicking that, um, on the 23rd, the Sun moves into Sagittarius, and then we move on into the mutable planets being kind of really amplifying. They're going to start happening. See, Mars is going to move into Sagittarius too. So by the time, let's see, the Sun is hitting 6 degrees, that trines my ascendant. That's really good for me. That's really, really good for me. And then Mars is also it's gonna do a 2-day trine to my ascendant, which is spectacular for me. Very productive time, even though it's still mildly squaring Saturn. You see, that's the problem in the air right now, that I am not seeing it as a problem. I seeing it as something I can get, like, say, if it's an edge, the square, it has like a point, and it's like you can grab it and start making a point with it. You can start making a cut is a perfect analogy, because we are dealing with Mars, and then also Saturn tends to make cuts. It's starting to try and get you to be rational. Ration is in the word rational, and that you need to get taught. You need to learn your lesson. That's what Saturn is. It's kind of the hard, um, the schooling that a lot of times you need to question it for sure. Make sure you're moving through it. It's not like you're stuck in that constant um, arena of, I was going to say school, because it's like, well, where's life? It's the thing you want to be careful with the control system, is they're all longing for life. Especially, yeah, if you know a police officer, anybody that lives like that, or a postal worker or something like that. Police officers are funny because they're all running around chasing the living, pretty much. They're the living dead, and they're actually like fascinated. They can only see, whoever calls them is also the living dead, and they can only rumor and talk and gossip about the living. And the problem about the living, which is very few of us, by the way, we need to go to court randomly more. We need to just say, we're here, by the way, we're here, and we see you, that and they'll kind of loosen up a little bit. Yeah, thank you. Whew. Because their black death robes are getting tight, and that's all that system is over there, as far as the fact that the living don't even establish their own constitution yet. There's just a one-sided bunch of documentary about that. It is one-sided if you only see one of them. There's two here to be concerned about. There's the living and then the non-living, non-human, and then the human. That's a Sagittarius thing if you want to look at it. Let's go global. Is there a human race? What is it made up of? Well, I say it's made up of men and women, but that has nothing to do with the contrast that I was just speaking of 30 milliseconds ago. Grow a beard, by the way. Um, Getting back to our Sagittarius planets, that is like, who wants to be in the middle of this religious crisis? But we are. We have the opposition of, it looks like the moon will be opposite the sun on the 28th or the 27th for us. And that's called a full moon. And that's intense. It's in Gemini. And it happens to be very beneficial for me. I hear that Chiron, or is it Black Moon Lilith? Sorry, I don't know. I don't have that book right here, or do I? See the Chiron symbology. Just not in this book. This just goes to Pluto and it has nothing else, which I appreciate it. But I heard that it's either Chiron or Black Moon Lilith. It can't be Black Moon Lilith. It's Chiron. Went into Gemini and it's at 6 degrees, and this is great for me anyway, because I have the Libra generation, but I have the 369, and it's like, the truth is communication is so important. That's what Gemini rules, and Libra, and the air signs, they are known to do this communication, especially like, well, music, the higher forms of communication. They'll just pop into it, and it's like, woo! The airwaves have just lit up with something beyond the chatter, which is, I would say it's called now. Let's get into reality. Isn't this amazing? We need some Earth. Thank God for my Venus in Virgo. What? See, you what I'm dealing with is that, well, first of all, people don't do astrology, so they don't know that there's an aspect in the sky with the square. First, it's the sun, and then it's Mars. And by the way, the moon is involved. The Mars is mildly involved with this full moon. It's still a Mars conjunct Sun. If you do technical astrology, it's like 3 degrees away or so, and that also is going to be opposed the moon. So that closes off a cycle with an intense look at. I hate to say it, but it's really I don't want to go into is there an ideal to hit, or is it an ideology? Did we find the truth, or is it just a name that we keep getting hung up on? People. Is it the narcissist, or is it the mind, or is it the heart orientated things? I like to keep pointing at science and fact, like, okay, but see, the heart is one thing, and it's in fact being found as the main router of all that's information, and somehow your mind is gathering that. It's clicking in with the heartbeat. You are stapling your brain taps your head in such a way that it's more than just a tap like this. The heart is in flux like this. It's electrical. It's an electrical pulse that is creating the illusion of time. Plop, 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 and stapling it. And so your mind thinks that there's a stream happening, but there really isn't. But you can get past this and become Neo, about the experience of the reality, that we are in, the plasmatic field, how the heart is electrical, and we are in a soup of magnetic electrical frequencies, and like pretty much atomically. How do you like this, babes? It's 3 a.m. It's actually 2:45, and I'm thinking a lot more clearly. That electrical magnetic plasmatic field can and will show up if somehow there's a string of things you end up doing that is called that there's like accidental meditation, but to me it's like, well, maybe that we're supposed to see this way all the time. We are being like densed down. We are dense to the point of we don't really recognize it as an energetic field anymore. It's looking solid. But if we can back ourselves up back into the energetic, the what is actually governing the solid, which is energy, frequency, and vibration, the non-physical, we too can control the weather, kind of a thing. Like, very important to know this, because as the weather can and will get more violent around us, the more that they put the wind towers up, they control the wind. And the thing is that you are also arguably more powerful than a wind tower. If as just raw science, the reason why I could look at you and we can convey uh, where the Statue of Liberty is, or where a geological site is, because we are here living in memory, and it's God's memory, it's the mind of God, and we kind of click in here, and we can't see it all, right? But we know it's there. How? Well, we are probably keeping it all in alignment, very scientifically, as something that we don't know where it's really happening, but it's a vibrational frequency thing, and we are in